Let me tell you something most women never realize until they've been through it. Avoidant men don't pull away because something went wrong. They pull away because something went right. The closeness felt good. The connection became real. And that's exactly the moment their alarm bell went off. Today is part 2 of our series, and we're talking about the tipping point. The moment when an avoidant man starts to feel emotionally close and suddenly becomes distant, confusing, colder, or emotionally overwhelmed. If you've ever felt a man shift right after intimacy, vulnerability, or a moment that you thought brought you closer, this one's for you. Here's what women don't know. Avoidant men love the early phase. The intensity, the flirting, the fantasy, the low-pressure closeness that feels like intimacy but isn't emotionally dangerous yet. They can text non-stop, they can plan dates, they can be affectionate, they can be emotionally open. They can make you feel like you're the one. But all of this is happening while the relationship is still emotionally safe for them. They haven't had to reveal too much, they haven't had to rely on you. You haven't expected anything real yet. And that's when it happens. A moment of genuine closeness. Maybe you shared something vulnerable. Maybe he felt truly seen for the first time. Maybe the date felt like more than fun. Maybe it felt like a connection. Maybe sex created emotional bonding he wasn't prepared for. This is the moment the avoidant nervous system activates. Not because he doesn't like you, but because closeness brings up fear he can't consciously name. So why do avoidants panic after intimacy? Well, avoidant attachment is not about disliking intimacy. It's about being overwhelmed by it. When closeness starts to feel real, avoidants collide with all of their old childhood patterns. I can't depend on anyone. Why does everyone always leave? If someone gets too close, I'll end up losing myself. Maybe I'm just safer alone. So their brain registers closeness as pressure. And it's not because of you, it's because of what attachment meant in their childhood. The very thing that you interpret as connection, they feel as loss of control. So what does this shift look like? Well, every woman who's dated an avoidant knows this moment. He doesn't disappear, not yet. He just shifts. The tone gets slightly colder. The text messages slow down. Plans become somewhat vague. And suddenly you feel like you're asking for too much just by existing. Sure, he might still be there, but the emotional oxygen in the room changes. This is the first withdrawal, and it usually happens after a beautiful moment that felt meaningful to you. And because women feel connection in their body, you sense the shift immediately. And you're not imagining it. Avoidants usually do something I call the silent reset. It's when they subconsciously tell themselves, okay, this is getting too close. I better pull back before I lose myself. I need to protect my independence. So they create distance, not because they need space, but because closeness triggered their old fears. This reset allows them to calm their nervous system. But to you, it feels like rejection. Like you did something wrong. Like the connection wasn't real after all. But it was real. That's why he panicked. So what do women usually do next? Well, here's where the anxious avoidance cycle usually begins. When you feel him pull back, your nervous system reacts. You try harder. You reach out more. You ask questions. You replay everything. You try to restore the closeness you just felt. But to an avoidant, this feels like pressure, which makes him pull back more. Your fear of losing the connection triggers his fear of becoming overwhelmed. And suddenly you're both caught in a pattern that you didn't create and you don't understand. The worst thing that you can do in this phase is chase the connection. Not because you're wrong and not because you're needy, but because his nervous system is already dysregulated. Pressure, even in the form of, are you okay? Did I do something? Where did you go? Why are you ignoring me? Makes the withdrawal faster and deeper. You can't regulate him. He has to regulate himself. So what do you do instead? Here's what actually helps. Match his pace, but not his distance. Keep your energy calm, self-contained, and grounded. Don't punish him, don't cling, and don't over-explain. Just stay steady. Stay warm, but not pursuing. When his nervous system settles, he will usually come back towards you. But this only happens if you didn't chase during the withdrawal. And this is how you stop the cycle before it starts. Part 3 of this series is all about how to respond when he reconnects, how to break the anxious avoidant loop entirely, and when it's time to walk away. See you next week.